Hey guys, welcome back to another Surgical Tech Tips, and today marks the last day of November, sadly. So this bad boy is going to be shaved off tonight. I just want to express my thanks to those of you out there that joined in on the team and grew out a mustache, or at least tried to. And big thanks to everybody that donated to the Movember Foundation. We raised over $200 for the Movember Foundation, which I think is just awesome that we were able to raise, anything at all. So big thanks to everybody that that participated in that, and hope to see more of you guys next year. Now, I wanted to make a video today, like a quick little channel update Q&A video. It's been a while. It's been, I think, like 2 or 3 months since I've done the last Q&A video. But yeah, let's do some Q&A first with some of your comments on a lot of the videos, and then we'll go over some updates to the channel, and got a special surprise for you guys too at the end of this video. So let's get into it. So first question is from AceBrief250. What kind of things do they have surgical techs do if they're sick, bad cold, infection, etc., etc.? Do you still have to, show up to work? It depends on how sick you are. If you're feeling real crappy, you call into work, just like any other job. My hospital's policy is 2 hours ahead of time, or 2 hours before your scheduled start. So I start at 6:30 in the morning. So at the latest, I would have to call in at 4:30 in the morning. That's just what the policy is. And on times where I don't necessarily feel like I'm that sick and I feel like I could still come into work, maybe I just have a runny nose, or maybe I just have like a slightly sore throat, you still go into work. I mean, you're wearing PPE, you're not spreading an infection to anybody, you yourself are completely covered up, and you're not spreading anything. So that's definitely not a big issue. The big issue would be, if you were like really ill, high fevers, chills, throwing up, the works, you should not be coming into work. Absolutely, yeah. All right, next question. Jamie Elias, how would you describe the difference of a surgical tech versus a surgical assistant? So I've been wanting to do a video about this, kind of explaining the difference between the two, because there is a difference. There's a big difference between the two. But just for this Q&A's sake, I'll just simplify it, and I'll just say a surgical first assist, or a certified surgical first assist, can do everything that a surgical tech does plus more. So once you become an FA, it opens up your scope of practice. There's certain things that you're not allowed to do as a surgical tech. That has to do with, closing wounds. It has to do with dissection, using a bovie, using a stapler, all sorts of things that are a little bit more technical and really fall a lot more on the surgeon. The surgeon's usually the one doing all that stuff. But when you become a surgical first assist, it expands your training, and it definitely expands your scope of practice to where you're able to do basically all the same things that a surgeon can do under their guidance. So that's the simplified version. All right, next question is Hannah Turner. What is the average age of surgical tech / assistant? I know there isn't an age limit, but is it common for people to change careers to one as a surgical tech or assistant later in life? So there's tons of surgical techs that have been doing this for years, 10, 12, 15, 20 years, and move on to a surgical first assist when they're in their 40s. So as a first assist, moving on from a surgical tech to a first assist, absolutely, people do that later in their life. I've seen a lot of it. As far as surgical techs go, it does seem to be a lot of younger people going through programs, and a lot of newer techs being younger. But I have seen multiple times where people in their 40s changed from a construction job over to a medical job. They went through surgical tech school, and now they're a CST working in hospitals. We have one that's working in our hospital. He's been with us for 4 years now. Was working in construction for 25 years of his life and dropped the construction job during the recession because he couldn't find any jobs, and joined us and went to school and joined us. So yeah, it absolutely can happen at all different ages. All right, next question is quite a few questions jumbled into one. I did reply to this on the comments, but I wanted to bring it into this video because Stephanie did really pose a lot of good questions in this here. So Stephanie Lake, when setting up a case, how far in advance do you start setting up? Usually, you know, if I'm getting there 6:30 in the morning and I've got a case at 7:30 in the morning, I'll just start setting it up right away. I'll get it set up and then, you know, go have some breakfast. Throughout the day, it really just depends on how big the case is. Say you have a case at 1 o'clock and it's an inguinal hernia, and you know it only takes you 15 minutes to set up an inguinal hernia. You set up for it 15 minutes before that time. You know, it doesn't take a ton of time when you do this so often. So it just depends on the case. So when do you load your knife blades? You need at least one ready to go on the outset, right? So yes, you always need to have a knife blade ready and loaded and ready to go as soon as that you know, surgeon comes into the room and you drape and everything. As far as loading the knife blade, I load them up pretty much after I'm done sorting all my instruments and everything, and I'll load my knife blades and put them on my Mayo stand in the exact same place that I always put them, or I'll put them on my back table in the same exact place that I always put them. The key is to always put your blades and sharps in the same place every single time. When do you load needle holders? Needle holders, again, kind of depends on the case. If I'm doing like a hysterectomy and I'm by myself, I may preload some needle holders to use as like stick ties and stuff like that, but it just depends. A lot of the times I don't really preload that much in smaller cases. Hearts, cardiovascular, I'll preload stitches. It just depends on the case. I know that instrument trays are set up according to count sheets, but generally speaking, what is on the count sheet? What I mean is the count sheet just what is needed for the case, or are there also extra items that may be needed during the case? So when you open up an instrument tray and you take that count sheet out and give it to your nurse, everything that's on that count sheet is everything that is inside that instrument tray. Anything extra, like extra peel packs, maybe you needed like an extra Richardson retractor or an extra appendectomy retractor or something like that, and you open that on the side, that is not going to be in your count sheet, and the nurse will actually have to physically write down on that count sheet or on the count board what you added. So everything that is in the instrument tray is going to be on the instrument count sheet. Anything that you open up extra, you got to write down. Okay, last question here. We have Adrian Eisenhart. I'm going to school now to get my CST. I already work in a healthcare field at a hospital, and people, specifically nurses, have asked me, why surgical tech? Why don't you just become a nurse? I joke around and say I don't enjoy it that much of a patient interaction, but I feel like becoming a CST will be way more rewarding in the end. I assume this happened to you a lot when you first started out. What are your usual responses, and why did you choose CST over RN? Great question, and you are absolutely right. That happened to me exactly. Just after I graduated school, joined a heart team, and I was working at a hospital, multiple people there were like, Shane, you're young, you're still so young, go back to school, get your RN, go be a nurse, go do that, go do that, go do that. And my response to that always was no. I started off going to nursing school right out of high school, and I hated it. I don't like all the charting. I don't like all the paperwork. I do like patient interaction, and It does sadden me a little bit that we don't get a lot of patient interaction, you know, as a CST, because, you know, we're basically there as they fall asleep in the OR. But as far as nursing goes, I mean, I love everything hands-on, and that's being a CST. We're there, we're in the surgery, we're hands-on, we're helping a surgeon, we're retracting tissue, we're hands-on the entire time. And gosh, I would just really, really hate sitting down and, oh God, it's just not me. It's just not my personality. Not my personality at all. I'm a hands-on guy, and I want to be in the thick of it. So that's why I chose CST. Why did you? All right, guys, thank you so much for all those questions. They were awesome. And please drop some more questions in the comments below on this video so I can answer them in a future Q&A video. And if you like the Q&A videos, please let me know. I think we're starting to get big enough to where we might be able to do a live video sometime. So I don't know. Just throwing some ideas around here. Let me know in the comments and see what you think about maybe doing a live Q&A or possibly just doing more Q&A type videos. Now, as far as a channel update goes, not much new for me, not much new for the channel. The channel keeps growing, so that's a good thing. And I'm really, really thankful for all the new subscribers and all the old subscribers as well for sticking around and, you know, enjoying the content that I still make. One big thing that I did do, my previous Q&A, I talked about possibly opening up a Patreon page, and I did do that. Yeah, you probably noticed it at the end screen, or the last like 30 seconds of the video. You see like a big orange P. If you click on that, that is actually my Patreon page, and I list in there basically things that I foresee for the future of the channel, and, you know, different avenues that I'd like to go. And so far I've gotten quite a few Patreon supporters that have really stepped up and wanted to help support the channel and help support the content, and I'm just extremely grateful and extremely, extremely thankful for all those individuals that have supported me in that way. For instance, this microphone that you're hearing me on right now was purchased from all of the support from those Patreon supporters, and I'm just super, super grateful for them. So as far as anything else goes, I don't know. December's a busy month. It always seems to be super, super busy with end of the year surgeries, and for some reason, I don't know why, but we always get a lot of like aneurysms and stuff like that. I don't know. So emergencies and end of the year surgeries are going to be plentiful this month. So I will try and get out as many videos as possible. The holiday season and everything with the family is a little difficult, but we'll see. We'll definitely be coming back full force come January next year. That's it. And now for the secret that you've probably been waiting for, and I hope you've made it this long in the video. And if you have, good for you. So, last year and last Movember, I really, really wanted to do like a funny skit for having to shave my mustache off. So my wife and I actually shot a video on our family channel, and I'm gonna include it in the end of this video. It's like totally cheesy, totally ridiculous video, but if you're watching this far into the video, please stay and watch it because it's hilarious. You'll get a good laugh out of it. All right, guys, I'll see you again. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Honey, we need to talk.
This better not be about the wipes again. You know I like using those. Feels good on my butt. I like using them. End of story.
That's not it, and you're gross. No, Movember is over. It's time for the stash to go.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm just starting to get used to this bad boy. This took me a while to grow. All month. 30 days. Think about all the famous people that have sweet mustaches. Teddy Roosevelt, Salvador Dali, Tom Selleck, that guy on the Pringles chip can. Come on. I don't know what the big deal is.
Just take care of it now.
Jeez, alright.
Now.
We've had some good times, me and you. Good times.
Would you just do it already?
Don't rush me, okay?
You're such a baby.
Alright, let's do this. Oh, good. Here we go. Regular old chain again. Regular old chain again.
Finally! Forgetting something?
If you need me, I'll be in the garage.